Okay, so let's start. So this is where we stopped last week. I think from this file, we should have break this into different files because we talk about variables and we put the code there. But for instance, we talk about also loops. We should have put this in a separate file. For instance, we can create a file called loops.js and we can put it here and link it here like this: script and source loops.js. What are we going to talk about today? Uh, we will talk about, where shall I write? Maybe I think I have to add some text, notes.md. Just this is for me. No, notes.md. We will talk about topics today. Why is that? Topics today, we will talk about logical operators. We will talk about conditionals. We will talk about loops. Again, last time we didn't really talk about much, but today we'll talk about. And again, when we are talking about loops, we also talk about arrays again. And then if we have time, we'll talk about functions. Yeah. Maybe if it's not big enough, I have to make it a bit bigger. Great. So these are the topics we are going to talk about. Then let's start from here, from logical operators. So let me just create a logical operators.js. Okay. Logical operators, we usually use symbols or signs like this and this and also this. Two and signs where they call it ampersand, and this is a pipe operator, a percent operator, and this is a negation. So let me, this is I think a percent. I think it's ampersand. And this pipe operator, pipe operator, this means actually and this means or. And we will talk about also the negation operator, and it means not. Yeah. Okay. So I have to run this file, right? Live server. This is what we have so far. I have to show it in a separate. Yeah. I have to be sure. Do you see my screen, guys? Yeah. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and it's also good practice right away. You should open the console, okay? So Control-Shift-I, open this for me. Or the long way, right click, inspect, it open for you. It may open it to the elements, then switch it to here. Filter, loads, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so this is what I have been writing. We have been writing together and you remember this, but we don't care about that. So maybe if this is, too much for you, you can comment it out. If you comment out the previous scripts, for instance, up to loops, if you comment out like this, By the way, this is how you comment in HTML. So now you don't see anything.
Asabene, how did you comment it all at once?
If you are using, I'm using Windows. I think let me Control Shift. How do I do that? I think even some of the things I don't remember. I just Control Shift. No, it's not Control and the. Okay. What is this? You press Control and the minus sign next to the Enter.
Okay.
Okay, this is Control plus, and there is this sign underscore. It seems underscore. Oh, someone is asking about the meeting. Okay. Did you manage to achieve, Anna?
Hang on. I'll try.
So before enter, there is one sign, keyboard, and in that key, actually on it is plus or underscore sign together. So what you do, Control plus that key.
But Mark is waiting to.
And this actually works differently for different keyboards, like for Finnish keyboard, for English keyboard. So you should Google it a bit. How to comment, like shortcut comment.
Yeah, it works when I switch my keyboard to English.
Okay, yeah, I hope you will figure out, but what I would like to tell you, there is different shortcuts, and these shortcuts may vary based on your keyboard type for Finnish keyboard, English keyboard, UK, United States, and all other language keyboards. So in that case, you should Google and check the right shortcuts. Let's move on. So
sorry, it seems that Mark is waiting to get in.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, Mark. I hope you joined now. Mark, are you in the classroom? Yeah, we have 2 marks. So then let's move on. So you can comment or uncomment by doing that the same thing, and your code is still there. So now I don't need this. I mean, I comment out for the time being. Control and underscore, but I'm interested in the script, the one now I call it logical operator. Yes. Now let's write something here. For instance, if I say I have to, and if you remember, John is a student, and maybe and Robert is a teacher. If I say John and Robert are students, is it true or false? This statement.
False.
Yeah, it should be false. Maybe I can put here Marta. Marta is a student. about if I say John and Martha are students? John is a student and Martha is a student. If I say John and Martha are students, is it true or false? Is it true or false?
True.
Yeah, it should be true because both are students. Okay, how about if I say John or Robert is a student?
True.
True. Either of John or Robert is a teacher. Is it true or false? Again, true.
It's true.
Yeah, so it might be very easy for you. So now we change this kind of logic to, maybe I think I destroyed everyone. How do we put negation? For instance, John or Robert is not a teacher. Adding not in our statement is a negation. So we don't go too much detail that because I believe that you have basic of this logical reasoning and statement. So let's do, so console.log. If I say true, yeah, it's true. True and true. True. Okay, great. Console. True and false. Of course, it's false. Console.log. False and false. Yeah, to get true, the two operands, the two expressions on the left and the right should be true. Let's see, this is the percent operator. That is this. And now let's see or operator this. Console.log true or true. Yeah, it is true. Console.log true or false. Again, true. Console.log false and false. As you can see, to get false value, the two operands on the left and the right should be also false. Okay, now let's see negation. It's what's happening here? Negation console.log. The opposite of true is false. Console.log. The opposite of, or the negation of false is true. So you know how to use these operators. Is it easy so far, guys? How is it?
So.
Yeah? Okay, let's move on. Now we can change this. Instead of saying true, true, how about if I just change this true to 3 is greater than 2. It's true, right? Etc. expression. Let's also change this expression to 4 is less than 5. So as you can see, both are true, true and true. It gives me true. Yes. Let's keep this one true. 3 is greater than 2. And false, for instance, 5 is greater than 4. This is true, and this one is false. What? No. 5 greater than 5 less than 4. Yeah. True and false, false. So you can do something like this. Okay. False, false. 2 is less than. No, that's not false. 3 is less than 2. So false. This is false, false, and false. It should give you false, of course, or you can also change this to something else. Now you know how to use logical operators. Now let's move on to conditionals. If you don't have question. Do you have any question before I move on? Okay, it seems you don't have. So what are the conditionals actually? If, else, if, else, ternary operator, and switch. These are the conditionals in JavaScript. By the way, do you know that everybody is a programmer? I should have said this the first day because, you know, the difference between a programmer and just a normal person is programmers change everything they think or say to a code, but other people do not. That's the difference. But naturally, we are programmers or programs. For instance, you planned to come to this course at this time at 5:30, right? So that's actually what a program does. You programmed yourself, you thought about it, you planned a time, you set a time to show up at 5:30. That's a program. You set a condition. You show up if the time is 5:30. So all of us are programmers, but programmers change every activity and every thought to codes. Do you agree? No? I hope you
I don't know. I have never think about it in this way.
Yes, that is, at least I believe that everybody's a programmer. The difference is programmers who taught, programmers who knows coding or a programming language, they can change their thoughts and activities to code. Yes, okay, now, as in conditions, so they check conditions. Life is full of conditions, right? Like that, in programming also, we made lots of decisions based on different conditions. For instance, let's say is raining. In my case, in my area, it's not raining, actually, it's false. Yeah, but I don't like to I will come to that later. If this is how you write conditions, if something happened or if something is true, execute the code in here. let's make this true all the time. If you make this, yes, I can say console.log. The condition is true and I will be executed all the time. Please read this statement because it has some message. The message actually tells about how this condition works. The condition is true, yeah, because I made it true. And I will be executed all the time. This will be executed all the time because it's a true statement. How about if I change it to false? It will never, this block of code will never be executed. So to write a condition all the time, what you need, if, and then the condition, and then a curly bracket. Inside the curly bracket, you put your code. The condition will be something. For instance, I would say let number is equal to 3. And then I can say if number is greater than 0. Do you think it is true? If console.log, the number is greater than 0. Yeah, as you can see, it get executed. But how about if I change this to 0? Or maybe, oh yeah, I don't see why. Now I want to ask you. Because my condition says number should be greater than 0. So the value is, if I change it to 1, it works. But if I change it to 0, it doesn't. But if I want to make it to work at 0, so I have to change this to something like this. Okay, great. So as you can see, if condition is not, I mean, it gives you value if the condition is true. How about if the condition is not true? So we use else. Else console.log. The number is not greater than 0. The number is not greater than 0. The number is not greater than 0, as you can see. Okay, so now as you can see, this only checks two conditions. This block or this block. If something is true or not. This is not a condition, as I told you. Life is full of conditions, and like that, actually, when you do some, when you try to solve some problem, there are lots of conditions you should consider. So we should know how to handle different conditions. So for instance, if number is greater than 0, the number is, I can say, positive. How about? Now I can check actually again, else if number is equal to 0, I can say console.log, the number is 0, else the number is negative. Now I have one, how many conditions do I have, guys? This condition, and this condition. If it's greater than 0, of course, the number is positive. If number is 0, yeah, of course, the number is 0. If not, the number is negative. Let's check it out. So by changing this to -5, the number is negative. By changing it to 5, the number is positive. By changing it to 0, the number is 0. Correct. Is it clear so far, guys?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
One example doesn't make everything clear. Now let's do something. For instance, let's check the weather today. Yeah, let is raining. False in my case. Maybe I can just change it to true, maybe just to make the if is raining is equal to true. Then I can execute console.log. It is raining cats and dogs. Yes, it's heavy rain. It's pouring it down. Let's say it's raining cats and dogs. Okay. How about if I change this to false? No, it doesn't show anything, right? Okay. But how about if we want to just instead check the weather? Instead of is raining, we can even change the weather. By the way, instead of is raining equal, we just change, just putting this is enough. We don't have to compare because this has already the Boolean value, either true or false. So now I think I prefer to change, instead of the wet is raining, I want to change this to weather. What's the weather today? I could say rainy. So maybe we can say if weather is equal to, we say rainy, it's a rainy day. Is a rainy day. If not, else console.log it is shiny day. But as you can see, I have only two conditions, this one or this one. So my condition is not good. I have to add a day could be rainy, cloudy, gloomy, whatsoever. No one knows, right? Foggy, so, or maybe lots of different kind of weather. So I would like to add more conditions. So we can say just else if weather is equal to cloudy. Console.log. It is such cloudy and gloomy day. Okay. Then I can add more even, like here, else if weather sunny. Console.log. It is such shiny. Is it shiny day? I think this is enough because you can add whatever amount you want. So it is a rainy day, but where is it? The rainy, that rainy? Yes. Okay, by the way, we can get data from user using prompt. we have this prompt. It's a function. Then you enter a value, and then we run. Have you seen? It just asks me to put something. And when you just, okay, you save the value. Let me show you. So instead of that, actually, I will prompt enter the weather day. I will remove this. Okay, now I have to refresh it again. So let me show the value also here, console.log weather, because you have to see the value. Da, 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 da. Okay, I'm just putting just anything. You should see it somewhere. I should have seen it somewhere. No, it should be stored somewhere. Okay, let's run it again. The weather today could be cloudy, right? Yeah, as you can see, it is here. Now this cloudy is stored in this weather. So anything we pass to the prompt will be stored here, and then we can compare it with here. So as you can see, yes, great. So now let's check what's the weather in your area. Is that sunny? Sunny, let's say sunny. I could say, it's such a shiny day. If I put rainy, it is a rainy day. If I just put just any random text, it should say it's a shiny day, because I put here at the last a shiny day. It's wrong. I could say no one knows the weather today, because it's the last and you don't have any option to put. So this is actually a kind of option you put when you don't have any other option. So let's put anything we want. Then what does that mean? No one knows the weather today. Great. So I think I can make this the result small and this much bigger. Okay, great. Are you following me? Is it clear what I'm doing, or am I just doing for myself? Let me hear from you, and you can ask a question if you have.
Can we see how you made the prompt again?
Prompt. Yes, this is how you write a prompt. Prompt enter, like you can pass any text here. So we put, for instance, let's do another prompt. Let name a prompt. Oh no, please. Prompt and enter your name. Then I want to see what is inside the name. Console.log name. This is the first prompt, enter weather. I don't care for that one. I don't care the first one. I have to have the second prompt. As you can see, I wrote my name, so I should see my name. And it's, yeah, and it's coming from line 50. Is that true? Yes, it's coming from line 15. Did you see it? Is it clear?
Yes, thank you.
Great. But the problem, sometimes you should consider let age, for instance, prompt and enter your age. It gives you a string, even though you pass a number, and it gives you, so you have to be sure that, okay, let's see. We don't need for that one. I want the third one, enter your age. Everybody knows that I'm 200, as you can see. Why I don't see you? I think I have to refresh it. Oh, I didn't print here, so I have to console.log age. Not that one, not this one, but I'm interested in here, so I'm 200. and let's see the data type. What's wrong in here? Yeah, now I can see 200. This data type is not a number. You can't multiply it or divide it. If you want, you should first change it. So how do you change it? Console.log log, for instance. You can use number, or there are different ways of changing that. I'm now converting by using the number constructor. For instance, 200. But why I didn't see the last? Because it's running already. That's I don't this one, I don't this one, but I need only this one. Have you seen now? This one is changed. Even the color is somehow blue. This is a string type, and this is number. So anything we get from the prompt is actually a string. It's not a number. So we have to convert it to number, either using a number or different method. Yeah. Okay, great. So I think we have covered already conditionals. This is how you should, this is the maximum you know about conditionals. What we are left with is actually, what is this? In conditionals also we talked about, I think it's in this here. Where is it? Yeah, here. We covered this one. You don't use, you use if condition, but sometimes you need if and else, because if is just only for one condition. This two condition. If else, if else, if else for multiple condition. Ternary operator is actually another way of writing else if. Switch is another way of writing this, if else, if else, if. We will see this after the break, and let's have a 10 minutes break, and we will be back 22:07. How about that? Great.
So in 10 minutes?
Yes, 10 minutes. We'll be back 22:07. Yeah.
Okay.
More than 10 minutes.
Can you show the last bit of code where you made the number into a number and not a string?
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I wrote the same thing, but I get a syntax error that the identifier